September 4th. Sony cries about not having enough original IPs, saying they just can't compete with Microsoft and Nintendo. Meanwhile, Microsoft continues to stub their toe on a wall they built, and Nintendo unleashes their legal team like a nuclear bomb on anyone who even thinks the wrong way about Mario. Fast forward 2 whole days. Astro Bot releases, a title quite literally made in celebration of every IP that helped Sony go head-to-head with its competitors in the past. And it's not just good, it's really good. Every single second I've spent playing Astro Bot have been seconds filled with actual childlike whimsy. The game just exudes this air of pure joy that's magnified by the blatant nostalgia baiting plastered all over the game. Is that Solid Snake? Is that Solid Snake throwing it back? If you're a fan of any sort of PlayStation series at all, there will be a bot you'll find or an item you'll collect where you'll point at the screen and say, I got that reference. The game doesn't let all the references do the heavy lifting though. They're honestly like whipped cream on top of a thick milkshake of an actual game, where from the word go the controls are tight, responsive, and actually make use of the DualShock 5 controller. Something I'm excited to see after the PS5 has been out for 4 years. Of course, just the basic moveset of hopping and swinging isn't all you get. Most levels are specially crafted around a unique power-up you'll get towards the start, and every single new power-up introduced had my jaw drop lower and lower on the floor, until the time stop power had me looking like an old cartoon character. Just in the first few levels alone, you get a puffy balloon power-up, rock'em sock'em hands, dog dash, micro mode, this one is my favorite, the time stop, and that's just naming a few. You get the power-up for the first time and you think, wow, the time stop was introduced in a casino and they did some crazy cool stuff with that mechanic. Like, there's an enemy that throws cards at you and you have to stop time and run up his thrown cards to reach him and kill him. Then later, you hop on giant coins falling out of a machine while they're slowed down. Surely that's the limit of this mechanic, right? Then you get 5 levels down the line and they're doing shit with the power-up I wouldn't have never even thought of. Then you fight a boss and they push the mechanic even further with huge spectacle on top. That's the type of whimsical game design that would have the world's frowniest and angry man cheesing from ear to ear. It was impossible to just not constantly smile while I was playing. Not like any of you could see it though. Then you have the levels where the game decides it's time to get funky. Like this weird tree that scares me a lot eats you, and then you play the rest of the level climbing it. Enemies move and jump around to the beat of his song, and honestly, I was just grooving by that point. Just lost in the sauce. I am a sucker for good soundtracks, and this game is full of them. You'll go from this chipper upbeat tune for the opening level into this funky jazz for a pyramid level, then boss fights hit you with these explosive pieces that just knock you out of the water, then they hit you with the nostalgia right after all that with an iconic PlayStation theme. Rebuilding your little hub area is also way more interesting than it has any right to be. Hidden puzzle pieces you collect through the levels unlock different features like gacha for your Fate Go addicted friends, paint for your in-game controller ship, outfits, and while they're all awesome to get your hands on, they're not necessary for progression, meaning even for people who won't go out of their way to find puzzle pieces, they can still beat the game without them. But if they want the extra challenge, they get a cool reward. And that's taken a page directly out of Nintendo's design book. They've been doing that since like Mario Bros. 3. It's nice to see the PS5 finally get a game so that the 7 people who own one have something to play. The only other 2 standout games being Final Fantasy XVI and Spider-Man 2, one of which has already made its way to PC and the other, let's be completely honest, isn't far behind. Would I recommend you buy a PS5 just to play Astro Bot though? No. Even as great as the game is, I don't think you should ever buy a console for just one game. But if you have a love for PlayStation and have a spot in your heart for platformers, find a way to play this game. You will not regret it. Also, you get to play Ape Escape.